Hey everybody, I have a leaf in my hat. Awesome. I'm Danny Picard. I'm up here in Portland, Oregon. Um, so many people have been going through really intense times, self included. I wanted to thank everybody who taps into this video for being you and for doing what you're doing and sharing your love with everybody. Things have been getting a little intense, and it's a really beautiful, potent, powerful time. We've been talking about this for a really long time. But now the contrasts and the crazy stuff that's kind of stirring up is really starting to get people's attention. And a lot of people are kind of frustrated because they don't know what to do or why is it happening. And so I wanted to kind of have a Q&A with people and let people ask questions if they'd like to. Um, a bit about me, I'm an empath, super strong empath. I feel everything, everything, which can be a distraction and a beautiful blessing at the same time. Um, I am a spiritual life coach. I train healers and light workers, and I develop curriculum to help people move into their empowerment and their natural state of being. I'm also a Usui and Lightarian Reiki master, as well as a master Metatronia therapist and certified hypnotherapist. I'm also an ordained minister and a transformational speaker, and I speak at festivals up and down the West Coast, and hopefully other places coming soon. So a lot of people have been noticing that I've been actually going on my own little mission, and I find that it's very comforting when I hear about other people being transparent with their own life stories, and it's always been very comforting to me to share my life stories with everybody else, because we're all in this together, okay? Uh, there's been a tremendous amount of purging and releasing going on within everybody, simply because old belief systems and the ways that you think and the ways that we're programmed by society, by our families, by our, relationships, they're no longer serving us. Okay. We're moving into, and we've actually been in a really transformative spiritual evolution that you're all here to be a part of. Many people are being called to service. Many people are wondering, what is my purpose? What am I here to do? Why do I need to do it? But wait, I'm busy working this job that's not serving me. I'm washing dishes. It's just not doing, it's not doing me any good. I know that I'm a better person. I know that I can, contribute to this life in such a more beautiful way. Myself, I used to wait tables for 16 years, and I loved it. I still love it. I thrive being around other people. And so, yeah, I had to ask the question, is this still serving me? Is this what I want to do? Granted, I am being of service and helping people have a wonderful night at the restaurants, but is this as good as it gets? So there's a lot of people questioning all of these things. What's going on? What am I here to do? Who am I? Who am I? Why am I this? Why do I feel this? Why am I feeling so much of this? Why am I thinking about so much of this? How come so many people are dying? How come this last year seemed like such a fucking shit show? Because it's an opportunity. It's an opportunity for you to expand and to calibrate and realign and reevaluate who you are and what you want to do and how can you love yourself more. If we loved ourselves fully and completely, we would be unstoppable. But how do we actually love ourselves? A lot of spiritual speakers and spiritual teachers talk about, love, all that is and everything, but but they don't really talk about applicable tools, and that's something that I really like focusing on. I really like grounding energies and really working with the subconscious mind and the spiritual energetics of the person, to help anchor in different things to allow people to start blossoming and start changing those belief systems. When I'm talking about belief systems, I'm talking about things like, oh, I have to watch the news in order to stay updated. That's bullshit. Um, if you want to stay updated, you can, but also recognize your sensitivities to the news that you're watching, and that every time that you watch something like that, you feel icky. So, especially with what's going on, the presidential election and all that stuff, I've had so many people contact me about, uh, oh my gosh, I started drinking again, I was doing amazing, I started gaining weight, all because of so and so was elected. But that is why are we giving that power out of yourself to something that's different when that's not you, when actually the trick is to learn how to love yourself more so we can actually do something about it and to make changes about your lives and your lifestyle if you want. Okay, so I'm wearing this fuzzy beanie because we're about to have Snowmageddon here in Portland, Oregon, which is why I was a little late, because I was out to get some groceries, and I honestly didn't get a whole lot of sleep last night. I haven't been sleeping too well. I wake up at about 6 a.m. and my whole body is vibrating and buzzing and tingling, and I feel like, my body feels swollen and just all sorts of weird stuff going on. And I woke up this morning feeling really sorry for myself. And, with the loss of my brother and, ending, different relationships that have been happening in my life. And, I had this sense of feeling sorry for myself. And I'm like, I'm going to feel this for a little bit. And then I'm going to choose to prefer to feel empowered and strong, because that's actually the preference that I want to be. And I want to feel as though I'm not victim to circumstance, but I'm actually empowered to create my own circumstance. So now I've been working with different tools in order to help myself get into these spaces for a long time and developing them, such as meditation. I've been studying meditation for a very, very, very long time. I've been watching and feeling the different effects of meditation, how it works on my body. I've also, worked with creating hypnosis sessions for myself, as well as running Reiki on myself and doing other forms of energy medicine on myself too. So I have always had a lot of tricks and tools to help me move up and to feel better about who I am, because I don't, sure, we can wallow in self-pity and whatnot, but that's not the natural state of being. The natural state of being that we're born into this life is one of joy, is one of bliss. So you're born as a child being fully embraced. Most people are. And that never goes away. But in between the ages of 0 and 7, we're in a theta state where we're downloading information from everybody else and everywhere else. And not only that, different relationships and circumstances that surround us actually start teaching us different new belief systems. It teaches us maybe we need to not learn how to trust in relationships. Maybe we need to learn how to be afraid of money, or maybe, all these different things. But when it comes down to it, if you were to detach from all of that, you just are right here, right now, and they call that the eternal I am presence, as you are a very powerful human being, okay? So a lot of people are moving out of this place of kind of feeling funky, and it's like everybody talks to me about how they used to be so powerful and psychic and magical as a kid, and then that just went away. Not only that, we live in a society that's very pro go get drunk, go get hammered when you're feeling bad, go get inebriated and just forget about it. go start your day without taking care of yourself, rush to your job, work 10 hours, get stressed out at work, and then afterwards go drink it off, which depletes your energy even more. And then you start the cycle the next day, and you wake up the next day feeling like crap and depleted. But the cycle and where people kind of need to realign is, wait, what if you were to wake up like maybe an hour and a half before your workday? What if you were to wake up an hour and a half before your workday, sit for 20 minutes, meditate, find a meditation on YouTube. There's millions of them. You can go to facebook.com/groups meditation for humans, which is a group that I started a long time ago. We have about 850 people on there, which has all sorts of different meditation techniques and different people who are interested in meditation. Start your day by showing the universe that you're important. If you start your day by rushing out the door and not eating, you're not showing the universe or yourself that you're important. So why are you doing that? And people say, well, I just want to get the most amount of sleep that I can. Well, what if you tried something new? What if you went to bed an hour earlier and woke up an hour earlier? What if you were to finagle and change and shift and kind of play with it, find out what works for you, better, but you have to have that willingness to do it. Okay, that's the thing. So we get stuck in this belief, this thought pattern that more sleep is actually going to give me more energy. When actually, what if that sleep that you're getting actually sucks ass because you're so depleted? And what if you actually allowed yourself the same amount of sleep, but actually woke up earlier, but then allowed a little bit more self-care? When your heart aches, or when you're feeling emotions, or when you're feeling off-centered, it really is kind of like this inner voice saying, hey, come remember me. Come remember who you are. I need attention, not this. Not your Facebook, not your cell phone, not your friends who are having all sorts of dramas or whatever. Remember me. And that's when the energetic misalignment becomes apparent, is that all of a sudden you're giving out all of your energy to everything else but yourself. And then your heart, your body starts going, me. But what about me? And, so the waking up earlier in the morning thing is a really simple way to start creating a new habit and routine that will start making your day feel a lot better. Again, we're going through a profound spiritual evolution right now. Our bodies are literally changing and shifting. Lots of people having different symptoms, physical symptoms such as tinnitus, the ear ringing, body tingling, top of the crown stretching, memories going away, feeling off balance, feeling as though you don't know what your place is in this world, anxiety. There's like this feeling of like so much stuff is going on that you don't know how to actually be a part of it and hold on to it and what's going on. So there's a lot of different things going on. Lots of people have been asking questions, so I wanted to do this little talk and see if anybody actually has questions out there. And if you don't have questions, or if you don't have anything in mind, please know that the questions that people ask me, the answers that will be said are very beneficial for everybody. It's very easy for me to tap into group consciousness. It's very easy for me to tap into what is needed to be heard and what's needed to be said and whatnot. And it just kind of automatically flows through me. So if you guys have any questions, go ahead and ask. And if you don't, then I'll just keep on blabbing. Leah, do you have any questions? I'll wait until somebody posts something. But anyways, I'll keep blabbing until somebody does. There's lots of different things that society has told us that are not real. Magic's real. Magic's real if you let it be real. Okay, just as real as you think debt is real. Um, just as real as you find, all sorts of different things real. Magic can be real if you want it to be real and if you open your heart and to let it be real. Now, there's different things in life that can help this magic be rekindled within yourself. Again, we talked about the self-love stuff. When people say, well, how do I love myself? It's very easy. Go get a Reiki attunement. Reiki is a beautiful Japanese healing modality that was reintroduced in the early 1900s by Dr. Mikao Usui. It is known to be what Christ used to heal the lepers. And even beyond that, it lineates through the ancient Tibetan realm. And even beyond that, through the seraphim angels into the multidimensional aspects of Venus and the Venusians. So what's going on with the self-care and Reiki and whatnot is that Reiki allows you the actual essence. Dina, I'll answer your question about that in a second. If Reiki is the essence of self-love, even just putting your hands on your heart is an aspect of self-love. How often do you ever put your own hands on your own heart and say, I am worthy, I am valuable, I am important? When was the last time you did that? Dina's asking real quick, what kinds of things can we do to help offset this craziness and become more balanced? My favorite answer to that is by looking at the positive of the craziness and what is the lesson within the craziness that's happening. Okay, how is this craziness causing you to grow? Okay, so if we look at all the perceived outside of ourselves, all this stuff that's making you feel off-centered and whatnot, look at the value of the lessons that is occurring. Sometimes it's hard because we start feeling so overwhelmed from these outside circumstances that it's hard to even look at the positive in it. But, with my brother passing away, with me going through these different trials and tribulations this year, that's the number one thing I look at. What is this doing for me? How is this causing me to grow? So when I look at everything as like a life lesson and another step on this ladder to become more light and more fulfilled within my heart, it allows me to feel as though I'm not just a victim to the circumstances, but I'm actually an integrated part of it, that this is happening for a reason, and this reason's really important. And this reason and all this bullshit that I've been going through, all this amazing, potent, juicy bullshit that I've been going through is allowing me to help you guys. Or is allowing me to further expand, to become more confident within myself, so I can help people in times of turmoil and crisis, or chaos. So one of my favorite quotes, this gal, super psychic, used to come to my coffee shop when I worked up in Humboldt County, and she would never say anything. She'd drop her quarter off on the counter for her refill, and then she would say, just make love to the chaos, honey. Make love to the chaos. And that's all she would say. Make love to the chaos. And I was just like, what a beautiful person. And little did I know that little message would stick with me forever. Because again, it's embracing that, this looking at the presidential election, what's going on, the old systems, old belief systems, not only within ourselves and in our bodies, need to be updated, but they do within the political system and within around the world too, because the earth is going through a transition. It's raising in frequency. It's moving into a higher state of alignment, a fourth, fifth dimensional aspect of consciousness. It's already at 5. So again, we're on this earth going along with it, to ride along with it. We need to shift our vibration, as everything is energy. Our bodies, our energetic bodies, we need to align our belief systems and move them into within our heart center. Okay, so now within updating and resolving issues, the issues that come up are things that are actually being released and needing to be purged. So all this craziness that's being released that you're experiencing outside of yourself, whether it's 10 million emotions a minute or whether it's this or that, or it's because it's being purged. It needs to be resolved. The number one best thing, the quickest way to release all that stuff is forgiveness. And there's an aspect and there's a process that I help lead people through with forgiveness. And most people think that forgiveness is just stuffing it in your cupboard in the kitchen and forgetting about it. But you don't actually forgive the energy all the time. So it actually sticks around your subconscious and in your ethereal body. So by actually forgiving it and transmuting it is a term that we use. There's what's called the violet flame. You can look it up on YouTube, listen to it over and over and over again. I was listening to Violet Flame for 2 weeks straight one time, and it totally wiped out any negative internal dialogue that I had. So there's a violet flame. There's meditation. Start your own meditation practice. Oftentimes the reason why all this craziness is going on is because you're an energetically sensitive being, otherwise known as an empath. We're all different variants levels of empaths, okay? Some people are hyper sensitive. Oftentimes originated in younger aspects of your childhood, when we're brought up, or when people were brought up, when there is perceived, intensity or whatnot. And people who are empaths often have this need and want to help and resolve the stuff outside of themselves because it's really hard to feel. It feels so intense that it makes you want to help and fix all that and resolve it so you can be at ease. But it also creates this healing aspect, and all empaths are healers to a degree. And so that's why I focus on empaths, because the more that people who are energetically sensitive start learning tools like grounding daily, again, Meditation for Humans on Facebook, or go find a grounding meditation on YouTube. 10 minutes a day. Do it every day. Start your day out that way. The more you get centered, the less you're taking on the external bullshit of the world. It's not your responsibility to take on all of this stuff as it once was, or that you started learning that you were responsible for. That actually is a story that we tell ourselves, that I'm responsible for this. I'm responsible to feel your pain, your pain, your pain, your pain, your pain. When you start moving into center, when you start clearing and aligning with yourself and becoming more centered, you start placing yourself as valuable and important. And when you do that, you start bringing your energy back. Anxiety will slow down. You'll start feeling better about yourself. You'll start feeling more empowered. You'll realize that what's out here is trivial. And you'll actually start realizing that by being more powerful, because you're loving yourself and taking care of yourself more, that you'll in fact be able to help other people better by holding your space. So as you hold your space, everybody outside of your stuff that's creating all this craziness is actually going to see you start shining and start going, what are they doing that I'm not? But there's all this craziness going on in the world. How can he be? He just went through hell. A lot of people know that I just went through hell. And I'm very transparent about everything. And I'm feeling pretty damn good. Again, I woke up this morning feeling pretty shitty. I did some meditation. I listened to a hypnosis session about being free within my heart, and loving my heart, and knowing that I'm worthy of feeling my love. Because when we become dependent on our external and we stop giving to ourselves, that's when things become kind of out of whack too. So let me know if I answered that okay for you. Leah asking, how am I dealing with how am I handling my brother's death on a daily basis? Lots of death near me lately, and it's making me feel very fragile. That's a good question. A lot of people are it's bit. Let me just say, for those of you that don't know, my twin brother passed away from pancreatic cancer um, October 3rd. He was diagnosed in late August, I believe, and it was a very quick process. And it's been a very, very, very tough time. There's been lots of grief. I was also in a relationship at that time, which was extremely helpful at that time. Um, and what was going on is I allowed myself to feel, which isn't always, when you're confronted with something like that, the thoughts that were going through my head is like, oh, here we go again. My dad, we went through this 15 years ago. I don't want this to be a long thing. How am I able to deal with it on a daily basis? Honestly, the work that I do, the energy work that I do, the continual loving myself, the acknowledging that everything's going to be okay, always helps. I do also have a hypnotherapy session on grief that I did when I went down to California to help out with that workshop for the Oakland fire, the Oakland warehouse fire. I can send that to you, Leah. Because what grief is a very interesting thing. It's almost like it's a wound that needs continual love. Okay? And this wound, it's like a wound that just kind of, it gets bad and it's good and it's bad and it's good. And then you're like, well, how do I mend this wound? How do I mend this wound? It brings up fear, it brings abandonment up, it brings up issues of your own mortality. It brings up issues of what am I here to do? How am I going to do it? Why do I need to do it? Who am I? It causes you to go into all these different things. And Leah, honestly, I've been blessed and cursed with lots of death in my life. I've had lots of people starting to transition all the way back to high school and even younger. So what helps me the most is by knowing that I focus on what did that person teach me? What did this person teach me? Also knowing that the memories that I have of them, those never go away. Those don't go away. You may think that they're gone forever, but I also know that through meditating and through this aspect of consciousness and life is that actually by passing away or transitioning is actually one of the greatest rewards and experiences that we as humans can actually experience. When we return to the eternal oneness, to where we return back as spirit outside of this physical form, and we again tap into the eternal consciousness of everything that is. So and that's taken me a lot of training, and not a lot of training I should say, but a lot of being with that experience over and over and over again. I talked to my brother. I got some of my brother's tools. I have his hammer hanging up right here. It's when you push the thoughts and memories away of somebody who has left. Don't do that. Acknowledge them. Make a little altar. I have a big altar of for my dad and my brother in my bedroom. But honestly, the fact that I do so much energy work all day long and meditate a lot, it really helps me be centered with it. I feel a lot of stuff, and I feel different things that will trigger different aspects of grief. Sometimes I feel super off-centered. Sometimes I feel very overwhelmed. And then I'm like, is that just what's going on with everybody? Like I said, I've had 13 different people who I knew transition this year alone. The reason why lots of people are leaving is because the energies are becoming so intense on the planet. Some people are just choosing that they're not wanting to be here right now because it's too intense. They said, I want to be a part of this experience of expansion on this earthly plane during this spiritual evolution, And then they decide that, whoa, holy shit, that's not what I'm talking about. Also, people that hold it's like an energetic mismatch. It's like if you're in a bad relationship where it's just it's not working. So people are choosing to leave and transition. There's also people who come here to fulfill their mission, and that contract is finished and resolved, so they can leave on that way. But know that since the energies are intensifying, you may notice and be aware of more of this coming up. But know that grief is a means for you to, again, learn how to love yourself more. You think you're doing enough now? No, more. It's tricky. It's tricky. Okay? But daily meditation is wonderful. So nice. Somebody says I'm hot. Why, thank you. So, let's see what else. And I might be the piece that you want to see, because we are the one, and everything you do as an individual affects the whole. Yes, Renee. Let's see. Are there any... Can you talk about violet flame, meditation, and that process? Yes! To Melinda, here in Portland, Oregon. Yes! The violet flame is pretty awesome stuff. So, now again, remember how I was saying, magic is here if you want it to be? Hold on. Costume change. There we go. I had to put my magic cap on for this question. So, with what was I going to say? The violet flame. So magic. I always wanted a life that was full of magic. Who doesn't? What kid doesn't? And I was like, well, I don't want to be living in a society that's magicless and I want to live in a world that I wanted to create a world that still had those aspects of magic. And one day I was washing the dishes. I was listening to a musical group called Saint Germain. It's electronic jazzy stuff. And then all of a sudden this voice says, like literally I just had this instinct to go Google Saint Germain and be like, what's going on with this? And it's all Ascended Master Saint Germain, Keeper of the Violet Flame and Master of Transmutation, Overseer of the New Age, Age of Aquarius, and the seventh Golden Age. And we're in the Age of Aquarius right now. We're going through what everybody in the late 60s was singing about. And so who Saint Germain was is he is a master transmuter. He's a person who he's lived many different lifetimes, incarnated into many different souls and beings of varying importance on our planet. He is overseeing what's going on right now. But in terms of, as Christ was kind of so much the overseer of the Piscean age, Ascended Master Saint Germain is the overseer of what's going on right now. But he brought to us what's called the Violet Flame, which is a tool of beautiful and extremely potent transformation. It actually allows the integration, and not only that, the transmutation. It's a spiritual alchemy of raising vibration of what's lower in density into high vibration. Okay? And remembering that we're deep down eternally high vibrating beings. Our subconscious, our surroundings, our bodies are filled with lower vibrational densities of different variances. So what the violet flame does is it allows you to actually change and shift those funky things into high feeling things. So we're talking low vibration, we're talking anger, jealousy, worry, stuff like that. Fear-based reality. High vibration, love, joy, happiness, and bliss. Stuff like that. Okay. So the frequency that comes in with the violet flame is very transmutational, it's very transformative, and it seems really fucking woo-woo. I have one student was like, this shit's weird, but man, it makes me feel better. And that was my take on it at first too. And then as I started working with it, I started becoming more open to different sorts of magic and different sorts of, knowing that we're not alone. There's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes that that we don't really know about in our, our physical bodies and the society that our society teaches us. There's so much more out there that meets the eye. Again, if you're at a loss and you don't know what else to do, go look on YouTube. Go Google the violet flame. There's some stuff that's kind of trippy, and use your discernment. Use your discernment. I just got a battery low warning. That's not good. Use your discernment, and find something that is in alignment with what feels good to you. But give it a chance. I'm going to post a few different things in the comments of this video. I'm going to post a few of my favorite links that can help you guys out. And I may even give you guys that session on grief. I'll put that in the links as well. But using violet flame in meditation, you can always visualize a violet flame within your heart. Ask that violet flame release all old fear-based realities. Ask that it transform any fear into contentment, any fear into safety, letting go of anxiety, moving into being centered, and just kind of work with it, feel it, allow yourself to experiment with it. Again, this is going to tap you into becoming your own kind of magician and sensing your own feelings and what's going to go on and whatnot, and how it can work with you. Let's see. And Melinda, if you have more questions regarding that, let me know. But yeah, again, check it out on YouTube. There's all sorts of stuff. I also do a hypnotherapy session that integrates the violet flame also. It's very potent and it's beautiful. Try doing these things on a daily basis to watch how it shifts you and shifts your energy. So Dina, you were talking about the craziness. All that craziness, you can actually resolve a lot of that craziness because it's other energies that you're actually picking up as a psychic being. You can actually transmute that and shift it into a higher vibrational state, which is your natural state of being. It allows it to integrate, allows it to process. And as you do this, it gets better and better and better. Okay. Anne McCormick, what do I do as a healer and giver who is so burned out giving, who receives nothing from others and feel like I have nothing left to give? Anybody else have that issue? That's pretty common. And you are also worthy of what you give out there. So what I would suggest is that you start making your priority so you don't get upset and frustrated with other people. Make yourself a priority, okay? And know that as you make yourself a priority, some people can view it as like, oh, he's being selfish or she's being selfish. But you know what? Actually, it kind of comes into a point where if you're constantly helping these people, especially if they're not asking for it, it's wasted energy on your part, because that can actually be given to yourself so you can feel better, so you can hold space more, so you can be more powerful, and other people can then watch you rise up and go, what's Anne McCormick doing that I'm not doing? Wait, she used to help me all the time and I was being enabled by that. And sometimes it is enabling when you're constantly helping other people, because we see as psychic or whatnot, as empaths, that, oh my gosh, we perceive that they need all this help. They need all this help. But if we're constantly helping them, they're not going to learn how to fly on their own. So a big part of actually healing is taking the responsibility for yourself, loving yourself more and more and more, as though you would be loving your best friend and whatnot. So turning that karmic switch around, making yourself a priority, loving yourself more and more, would greatly benefit you. More Reiki on yourself if you do Reiki. More time for yourself, charging yourself daily, recharging, I should say, grounding, self-care, daily self-care before and after your clients. Maybe you want to do a 10-minute grounding before your clients. Maybe you want to do a grounding meditation after your clients too. Find something that works for you, but know that these are different tools to do it. Do a grounding and a violet flame, or do a grounding before your clients and then do a violet flame after and clear their stuff. Okay, so again, it keeps you in this natural state of like not. The thing is, you don't want to get mad at people because you're giving and giving, giving, and they're not giving back. And that's you. That's again your heart saying, "Hey, wait, don't forget about me. I need my own love." Okay. So and if you have further questions on that, you can feel free to message me. Let's see. And he's giving you the perfect information. Also, ask yourself, what would I have to believe to make this so? That's a really good point, Renee. What belief systems that you have, and that actually make you feel as though it's your responsibility to take care of everybody else and not yourself? And where did you learn that? Why did you learn it that way? And how would it feel if you started believing that, you know what, you're the master of your own universe, and I want to finally feel empowered and full of energy, and I want to feel like I have happiness again. I want to feel that I'm not drained anymore. I want to feel focused, alive, energetic. I want to feel empowered. I want to feel great. I want to smile again. So, what belief systems do you want to have, rather than the belief systems that aren't serving you and saying, I need to take care of everybody, I need to take care of everybody, I need to take care of everybody, because that's exhausting. I know that I can help people just by helping myself and by charging myself and by being able to hold space in an objective manner. So when all of you guys are asking questions, I can actually come in with, much more clarity. I feel aligned. I feel like I've taken care of myself. All this stuff. So there's, try this. Try doing this. Okay. Especially with empaths and healers, there's that responsibility that we feel as though we need to take care of everybody else, and that's great. But the new paradigm way of thought is actually the best, most effective way and empowering way to take care of ourselves and to help other people is by taking care of ourselves first, not last. Because when you're last, you feel depleted. That's when anxiety kicks in, and that's when you start going, ooh, and you get stuck and actually moving into a state of depression possibly too. So, okay. Let's see. Do we have... Yay, Derek. Derek from London. Hi, Derek. Beautiful that Shaman Derek is joining us. Much love to you. Wish I could see you this year. Let's see. Does anybody else have questions? Catherine gets stuck with the giving and giving as well. Chase chiming in from the East Coast is kind of fun. How do you figure out how to separate what is someone else's emotions from your own? What are you talking about? For that one, Catherine, how do you figure out how to separate what is someone else's emotions from your own? Grounding and dealing with a lot of projections lately from a roommate who is taking advantage of our generosity and trying to something. It says Seymour, but I don't want to touch that. Grounding. Ground into the earth, become present. It's a boundary thing, Catherine. And sometimes we weren't actually, I've had to create what my boundaries are. And I just went through an experience with somebody who's very important to me, that my boundaries became deflated. And I had to, I was always questioning what was going on. And I was starting to feel kind of crazy, and I was just like, wait, is this my stuff or not? And so this is a very raw thing for me. And knowing that wholeheartedly, that you are who you are, and if there's an aspect of gaslighting or anything like that, know that you are that natural state of joy. Anything else, if it feels icky, it probably is. Ground. Spend more time grounding, Catherine. Okay? And then things will start becoming more clear and go, wait, no, this is me. That's not my stuff. Okay? So, but grounding, honestly, is the best thing to do with that. and especially if you're living with a housemate, and that's that's close proximity. So you might want to actually start a daily grounding meditation a little bit more. Hi, Mom. I hope you didn't float away. She's up in the Santa Cruz Mountains getting 12 inches of rain. Everybody say hi, Mom. So, and let's see, Merlin, how do you quiet the ego and have it controlled rather than always catching yourself being caught up in it? So the ego, understanding the ego is really interesting because the ego is very, it's needed. It's a natural part of who we are. Quieting the ego, again, will come from much more meditation. Also honoring your heart more and becoming more heart-centered. We're going through this process of moving from our mind state into our heart, okay? And this is the aspect of this transformational process that we're going to in this evolution, that we're moving into our heart, out of our third-dimensional egoic mind space. So we're moving into our heart. This is becoming more vibrant. When that happens, this gets resolved a little bit more. It gets more at ease. The ego starts softening. The ego doesn't like moving out of comfort zones. So if you're trying to expand into something new and feeling great, you will often have resistance that comes up and says the ego is wanting you to stay because it's what used to cause you to feel safe. I need to go get my phone charger. Hold on. Ah. Mana. Ah! Uh-oh. Mana. Mana. Okay. We have to speak. Are we still there? Okay. So, phone's being charged. I have to speak from a different angle, which is fine. I'll just pretend like I'm up on the ceiling. Okay, so let's see, where are we? Yeah, keep on grounding. Thanks for saying hi, Mom. Now, are there any other questions? I feel like there's a lot more to answer. What's interesting is that the people that did originally want to ask questions are not here. So I don't know what they want to ask, but I hope that, a lot of this stuff is all stemming from being energetically sensitive, okay? So, this is what we'll talk about. So, during this whole thing of what's going on with the spiritual evolution is your sensitivities are becoming heightened. Ooh. And so the ego goes, fuck that. That sucks. Squirm. But here's the thing is that as you gain tools and understand that there's tools to help you with these heightened sensitivities, which there are, and that's what I like teaching people about, as you work with these tools and learn how they work with you, that your life will become a lot easier. And what actually starts happening is that you start getting a better handle on things. You actually start fine-tuning your abilities as a healer, as somebody who's here to be of service.